Hello, and welcome to another episode of Intune.training, the place to learn how to use Microsoft Intune. Almost forgot, huh? Yeah, been a minute.
That's why we're doing the reboot.
Yeah, with Steve and Adam and Jóhannes. What's up?
Yay! Hey,
howdy.
Well, all right, let's get to it.
What is up?
We got a long way to go.
Not long to get there.
So if you're following along on the reboot, we've set up a brand new tenant. And the next step, we need to set up our domain on our new tenant. And
so it's all about the vanity.
The vanity, that's right. We are very vain, and we need to demonstrate that today.
Or we just can't remember the random name that we've been given by demos.microsoft.com.
Maybe that. I mean, I guess that could be the deal, right?
Yeah. Because who wants to type in on Microsoft every time?
Yes. So the issue is that the domain name that is part of our tenant is difficult to remember, and nobody's going to want to do that on Microsoft.com all the time and everything. So so the idea is we want to come into our tenant and set that up. So we've already got a domain name. So Intune.training. We've already got it hosted in Cloudflare. Choose your DNS provider, whichever one you need. And now we're going to go through the setup process to be able to attach it to our tenant.
Yep.
So Steve, why, other than just the on Microsoft.com, like, why do we need to do this? And does it matter if we do or don't do this, especially for somebody doing this in a lab or something like that?
So if you're doing it in a lab, it's just an experience. It's not really important. It all comes down to how you're wanting to brand it, how you're wanting to present it out. And also, so you don't have to type out your name on Microsoft full address every time you sign in. So it's about making your life simpler. In the corporate world, apparently your marketing team like using your vanity domain name. So that's part of why every organization...
Yeah, they might have a say in it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, for many of the tenants that I've set up, I've gone in and go to namecheap.com and just go find any random. You can get a domain name for like $1.50 or something. Like, it's no big deal. But if you don't want to go through that hassle, you could absolutely skip this if this is for your lab setup. But certainly would absolutely do this for your production environment. Also, you absolutely can and should plan to attach your internal or external corporate domains to your tenant. So now, I guess I haven't thought about this. Steve, what's the difference between? So we've got an internal domain name and an external domain name. Our email addresses are all external. They use the external domain.
As you should.
But I think we've attached all of the the internal and the external to our domain or to our tenant. Is that
so? The advantage of doing that, yes, and the reason why you would do that is because then you can synchronize accounts that don't have your public domain name in there, but you're using the internal domain name, right? So this is where you've got your traditional Active Directory where at one point, everybody was like, don't use your public DNS name because you're going to have routing issues for your public websites and et cetera, et cetera. So what then happened was you'd do like company.local, or if you were smart, you would do like country.local, or you would just do domain.local, because it then wasn't tied to any part of your organization. And if there was a rebranding required, you didn't need to think about it and didn't need to worry about it. Why you would add that is, as I said, so you can sit there and turn around and present out accounts from internal up into the cloud, but don't do that. The other thing to call out is make sure you register your domain name that's associated with your public email addresses and tie your UPNs to your email addresses, because it makes it super easy for your end users to actually know how to sign into their devices, because it's just a matter of sitting there and saying, oh yeah, just do your email address, rather than, oh, so your email address is steven.hosking, your login is shosking, and you have over in this other service, it is Hosking S, because that's what was the naming convention when we started doing that system, which we've seen happen at a lot of organizations. So it's about having that consistent single user account.
It has been shockingly common to see customers with very different usernames for pretty much every single service.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're in that boat, you certainly want to manage this. And then, obviously we haven't got into the Azure AD Connect side of things, which we need to touch on it at some point, but that will allow you to synchronize your accounts to Azure AD or Intra ID. I'll get there eventually. So you'll synchronize your accounts to the cloud. There you go. Got it. And during that process, though, your on-prem environment, AD will still win and own some of those things. And so as you're synchronizing those attributes, you may have to go in and modify the attributes within AD before, to match up with what you expect them to be in the cloud, because you can't change those things in the cloud. So just, several things to consider as you're going down that path. It's not, it is what it is. You've got to look at the options that fit your org best and make the right choice. So
exactly.
With all that said, let's just go do the thing.
Yes, let's, Adam.
Woo,
I saw myself. So what we'll call out here is there's actually two ways you can register a domain or register a custom domain into your tenant. So there's through admin.microsoft.com, but you can also do it. Well, actually, there's three ways at the moment, because you can also do it through entra.microsoft.com, and you can also do it with portal.azure.com.
Well,
all of them do
let's
the same
go the
thing.
intro route, since it's the most brand newest of the things.
And as Adam's taken the device of the window of his screen, you've got to understand we're making sure that we can authenticate without showing you and editing.
Yes.
Let's be very open and transparent. We don't want to edit. So if we hit identities on the left-hand side there for us, Adam, and then what we're going to do is we're going to show more. And what we should see here is there should be under, let's see if I can remember where this is, settings, I think, yep, and domain names. And then what we're going to do, and I'll get you to zoom that in just a little bit there for me, Adam.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
It goes to 11.
Yes, please. And we're just going to hit add custom domain. So we're going to put in our favorite website, which is intune.training. Make sure you use yours, not ours, because you're not going to be able to add it. And then what you'll see here is we need to go and set up our record type in the domain. Why this is important is this is where we're sitting there and specifying that we are the owner of that domain. Super, super important. If you can't prove that you're the owner of that organization, then you can't use it. This is how we build trust around everything associated. As you can see, we have a whole heap of different URLs and entries there. And what we're going to do is you'll see the third last one on the list there, Adam. That's our existing one for the old tenant. We're just going to edit that. And we're going to go and put the content of...
Yep. Sorry, I'm just going to do them side by side here.
Yeah.
How about that? All right. So we'll go down to our existing TXT record.
Yep, TXT.
This one.
Yep.
Okay.
So content required is the destination or point to address. Name you leave as is. Oh, yep, that's fine.
Auto works for me.
Auto works for me too. We'll just hit save.
That should work.
And then what will happen, and the thing is, you can use the TXT record if your service provider or your domain hoster supports that. Otherwise, you can use the MX record, and they both work exactly the same. What you'll note is we've got a whole heap of it already set up. In your organization, you'd need to set up some of these, but also the easier option is if you use admin.microsoft.com to do the domain registration, you can just go and update my DNS records for me, and it'll handle that automatically for you.
Yep, and that's a good point. We should just at least click that while we're setting this up. So if we were to, it's already, or sorry, this default. I know. So it's already got it set up, and so you could do start setup here, and then it will go through and you can tell it where your provider is and all those sorts of things.
Well, typically nowadays it will detect where your provider is, and then it'll say, hey, this is what you need to do, etc., etc.
This also seems to have more options. There's a third option there, adding a text file to your website.
Yep. That's new, yeah.
So we've made the change, and we're going to go back here and hit verify. That's super quick.
That was quick.
All right.
It's a lot quicker than it used to be. Then the next thing we need to do...
Oh, you know what? I don't feel so bad. It's still called Azure AD Connect.
Correct. So the next thing we're going to do there, Adam, is we're going to hit the Make Primary button. So why you want to do this is then every account that gets created in your tenant will automatically be set to this as your default domain. And that's it. So now if we go, and obviously we're still in the process of creating accounts for everybody in the team. So what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly go and create Ben's account for him.
Well, Jóhannes is here. He needs one. Oh, you've already set him up. Look at that.
We have.
The picture and everything.
Look at our UPNs. They're awful.
Yep.
We should fix that too.
We should, yeah.
Create a new user.
So it's going to go here. So what you'll see is that UPN automatically was set to intune.training. Yeah, cool. And we're just going to leave the auto-generate password. We're not going to bother copying it out because what we'll do is we'll just reset it later for it. And we don't need to show everybody his password. The thing you need to do here that you must do to assign or to allow the license to be activated is you need to set the usage location. He is in Australia, so second last. Yep, okay, perfect. And then we're going to go to assignments. And in here, we're going to add a group called licenses because we're awesome and we've created a group to do it all for us.
So Steve,
wow,
I have
this
one
does
question
not
on that.
scale well here. Hold on. There we go.
Steve, I have one question for the audience. When you assign
Before
that,
you do that,
does it?
Adam, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which country you pick. What if I'm a multinational company?
So I believe so, because it comes down to it's not actually it's around export rights and things like that is my understanding, but I've not dug into.
Okay.
I've not dug into how it works, but also I believe if you specify usage as somewhere in the EU, it gets handled differently as well for data usage. So if we go back to Adam,
okay, yeah.
And we go add roles, go back to assignments.
Back to the roles. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that it's associated with the usage as well, but I've not gone into that, to be honest. We're going to make Ben a global admin because that's how we roll.
Don't do this for most people.
Yeah.
And you know, so like, okay, so point there. We'll get into this at some point, but like, this is really bad practice. We shouldn't do this. We should go set up a PIM group and we should set up an access package with manager reviews and all that sort of stuff and put him in a group that has rights and all of those things eventually. For now, just to get started, yeah, this is easy.
And when you're in your lab, that's how you do it. But you can obviously test and practice all the way through. So what we're going to do is, well, while we're here, Adam, we'll get you to collapse the left-hand side. Yep. So Ben's account was created with Intune training.
I don't know how. Oh, is that it right there?
Yeah.
I learned that last time and I've forgotten again. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So then we're going to grab our accounts that's already been set up with the existing one. We're going to edit properties. and we're going to just change that drop down to Intune.training. I'm just going to save for all 4 accounts.
Can you do this as a bulk action?
You can.
Johannes, where can I get some glasses like that?
I'll bring them to MMS.
Adam's not going to be at MMS.
Nope.
Well, not at Miami.
Yeah, true. Cool. And we'll leave the service accounts as they are.
Wait for the refresh. Should be all good. Now
look at that.
There's Jóhannes and mine.
So okay, so now tell me this. So I'm currently logged in with this account.
Yep.
Does it care?
No.
Right now?
No, because it's using the user ID. Or the user object ID. Yeah. Once it's gone past this, is my understanding. Because the token's there, you're still allowed to access it with that object ID. The object ID gets removed, then it starts getting hinky because you don't have an active token.
Now, do I have an option to to still sign in with that? Like, is this an alias on my account now?
It is an alias. So if we go to, let's go down the rabbit hole of aliases and everything associated. If on the if we go back to the admin.microsoft.com portal for us, Adam.
Oh, you mean not?
You've already got it open. You've already.
What?
You already have the tab open. There we go.
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Yep. It's all good. And then we'll go to users. Actually, yeah, we'll go to users. And we'll start there.
Oh, and by the way, you totally could have done what we just did in the intra portal. You could do it here, or you can do it in the Azure portal as well. So you got lots of options right now.
Yep. So the reason why I say to go in here is because we can then go, if you select display name being Adams, we'll just, and then we go to mail. If you go to account, you have the aliases there. And this is where it's very simple, right? And you can't really do much with it. You could, cool, but I don't have the ability to set all my SMTPs and all of that. So this is where you can go to the Exchange admin and you can add all your different aliases there as well.
Sweet.
And give you a lot more control. And it's a lot easier than what it was in AD, where capitalization is very important.
There it goes. So the name change absolutely needed.
It had to re-authenticate because you were doing something.
I think it's worth noting just how shockingly simple and easy this is compared to doing any of this on-prem.
Yes. Oh yeah, changing a user account or changing UPN on-prem is hard.
Yeah, even just finding where you add that, which was under sites and services.
By the way,
which we definitely go through.
Trying to sign back in. No worky. Because that alias
doesn't know how to find it.
Work anymore. So it's a mail alias, but not a.
That's right. Because it's your UPN, so user principal name, that tells you that what you can do and how it works.
Look at that.
Yay. And you'll note now it's all branded the same as Intune training up in that top right. We're not seeing any of the additional hang on. Can I get you to go to Intro ID for me? Yeah. And just, that one there. Yep. And then go to users.
Where?
If you blow it out, identity, users, all users. Cool. I was just making sure that it had actually done it properly.
Sweet. So that's pretty much it. This is how you attach a domain to your tenant and set up your user accounts to use that by default. You can obviously add more domains in. So if you have multiple companies that have different aliases, you can manage them centrally, connect them all here, whatever you need to do there. That's pretty much it. We're going to carry on, and we're trying to have a goal of breaking up these videos into just a little bit smaller chunks by topic. So stay tuned for the next one. Anything else to add? That's it.
Nope.
Right? All right.
Nope. I think we're good. And the next topic that we're planning to get into is provisioning.
Woohoo! All right. See you next time.
Let's see if we can make it boring.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Yep.